Hello my beautiful hammerhead and welcome back to another video. In this video I want to talk to you about Drekki Flynt's second novel. Second novel because there were three short stories. Argonaut's Oath and now The Ghosts of Barak-Minoz. It is one of the funniest things ever. We have pirates, we have swashbuckling, we have mechanical parrots, and we have traitors, we have mischief, we have everything. This is, for me, it feels like the Caiaphas Cain of Age of Sigmar, because it's just funny. It does not hide what it is. Mr. Guy Haley did this book a service in not hiding what it is. Because it's a comedy book and it's so good. After so many Black Library novels again, which were more on the serious side, which were more on the grimdark side, this is just so refreshing to have something like that in the middle of the bleak desert. And it's so good, because this is the Drekki Flynt we know and love, and this is everything we need for this book. Something which I also again hope that this isn't going to be a trilogy and more of a series, because the end again ends in a cliffhanger. There is more of a mystery in here. So I really do hope that there is more to come. Okay, what is this book about? Ghost of Barak-Minoz is basically everything also again you need to know. We start in Ulgu in Barak-Minoz, the home Skyport of Drekki and his crew, and they get a message that someone asks for them, and they're like, okay, who's asking for us? We just came here. What is wrong? Yeah, go to the prisons and you will know who it is, because we don't know. Just some raving mad dude who asked for you. Okay, they're going there. We get to see a little bit of, again, Barak-Minoz. Yeah, the Skyport in Ulgu. I already forgot the name, even though I said it just a moment ago. Because it mingles up with Barak-Minoz now in my head. But yeah, it's very interesting to see the Caradron overlords, how they deal with the law. Because in a society where everything is really that in-depth with their contracts to each other, it's interesting. It's again funny, because we get to see for what the Caradron and other races are being imprisoned. Because one of his crew members told the team that he was once in prison for drinking too much and fourth degree grumbling. Even though every dwarf grumbles, it's their thing. It's so funny that they have degrees of grumbling, which I really do love. And another thing why I say this is, wow, this is really bright. Why I say that this is more of a Caiaphas Cain book is that every now and again we have the same thing, like in Caiaphas Cain when Inquisitor Amberly Vale has footnotes there. We have the same here. For every Caradron, or rather Duardin / Davi nomenclature, there is the human explanation for it underneath, and it's beautiful. There is so many things in there for, again, world building, a little bit more of some things that might impact the greater narrative, which I do love. Kragnos is mentioned in here because as they're venturing out from Ulgu, they have the conversation that no matter where they are, they don't have to be in Gur. The awakening of Kragnos made everything worse. Every beast in every realm is just more dangerous than ever. That is great. That is something I want to see more of. But yeah, they get there, they get to the prison, and they meet one of their crew members whom they thought lost in the last book, because Eftor, the brother of one of the crew members, whom the name I already forgot, I'm sorry, there are so many names in here, he fell from the eighth sling, the ironclad of the crew, and they thought him dead because, yeah, well, he fell from the skies. And he reappeared. No one knows how and why. And so they buy his freedom. They get back. On their way, they meet a Beardling, which is also really, really funny because he's 35, doesn't have any beard, and he wants to be part of the team, which is rather strange because Drekki isn't that famous. And the Beardling claims, oh, everyone knows you, everyone knows of your adventures, and so on. And I had the feeling of there is something more behind that Beardling. Is he really a Beardling because you can shave your beard for anything, which isn't that uncommon for Caradron overlords because of their gear. One thing that we learn here is when in other Duarden cultures we have long beards as a form of respect to say someone is a long beard, no matter the gender. Here we say old beards because as again with all the gear, with the helmets and everything, it is a common thing to shave, depending on who you are and how much you have to get rid of it. As an engineer with a lot of moving parts around you, it would be horrible to get tangled up in there and die in your own machinery just because you had a long beard. Which is something I totally understand. I have the same thing at my work in the lab with a lot of moving parts. I have to bind my hair together. As I had a longer beard, I'm also now a long beard. Just a tangent here. I bound it, and I also had the characteristic dwarven rings in my beard. Because it was really dangerous when you bend over and there is something moving or stirring, mixing, whatever, at 800 RPM. That's not good to be in there. But yeah, a lot of world building, a lot of Caradron and Duarden slang in here. So if you want, just go through the pages, look at the bottom, and see what the words mean. You could... There is so much. I would say this rivals other fantasy and sci-fi novels that make their own languages. This is on par with those. It is really, really great. I really enjoyed it. Many of those, of course, are censored, and Mr. Haley only writes, oh yeah, we shouldn't talk about this. This is a part of the dwarf he can't scratch himself. Which is really funny. But yeah, they get Eftor back, and he's again raving mad. He tells them about Barak-Minoz. It's a Skyport that was lost 30 years ago. And the rumors are, well, first of all, it's in Shamon, and so the realm of metal. And the rival Skyport was Barak-Fring, which is also, again, in Shamon. Those are the ones with the red and white armor, if that helps. And the rumors are that Barak-Minoz sabotaged Barak-Minoz, so they got lost, it exploded, whatever. And other rumors are, yeah, they delved too deep into the ether gold in the sky and something happened. There are a lot of rumors in here. And yeah, well, Eftor fell through the eye of Tepistius. I'm sorry, this is a really weird name. Eye of Testudinus. I'm sorry. And it's a realm gate, basically. And there is a mystical thing called the Dead Air, because no one was able to venture there. And Drekki always says, this is it, this is Barak-Minoz, we're going there, adventure! And yeah, well, on their way, they are getting some help. The help in the form of a dragon, whose name I already forgot. Again, there are a lot of names in here. And our dragon friend is, yeah, well, the usual dragon. It's basically Smaug, just in a little bit more friendly, but still a little grumbly because he had to deal with dwarves all his life, which is also really funny. And our beardling is like, oh, why do dragons like gold and copper and so on? Why not something else? And the dragon's like, have you tried sleeping on something flammable, beardling, as a dragon? It's not good, even as a dragon. So yeah, there are also a lot of funny parts in there. And the whole dynamic with the crew is so lovely. We have two who are, yeah, we can say that, who are in love with each other. And they haven't tried to make advances to each other. And the whole crew knows about this. What I really love here is there is no third party, there is no triangle to add more drama into it. No, luckily none of that. This is just a pure thing between those two since the first book. And it's so good to see. Because the added drama wouldn't have fit in here. And I respect Mr. Haley for that, as this is a wholehearted story. Of course, with action and everything. In here, the action, this is a development that I really do enjoy in the Black Library over the last couple of years. Again, action is short, it's punchy, and if it's stretched longer, then this is one of the best examples of stuff happens. And it's more of the pragmatic side of the Caradron, probably, to do other things while other ones are fighting. So stuff happens all around, which is great. Also, one of the practical things is here, at one point, one of our Caradron overlords has to make the sacrifice play, of course. It was foreseeable, which is okay, because it's still a comedy novel. It's not a grand dramatic thing, which is really important to reiterate. And of course, there is a little bit backstory. It sounds harsh, but the guy who wants to do the sacrifice play is like, I will do it. Don't hold me. And everyone is like, yeah, okay, fine by me. Again, there is backstory to it, why everyone is fine with that. But still, it feels a little bit bad for the guy, but still, it makes sense in that moment. Because, again, in other stories, like with, I don't know, with Lumineth, with, oh no, not really the Idoneth, they're also emotionally dead, but Cities of Sigmar or anyone else who would have more of an agenda to keep their own people alive. Again, here, no added drama, it's just like, okay, do it. The crew itself, again, it's mostly the same people. Eftor is back again, which is not that of a spoiler because it's on the back. Is it? Wait, before I say so. Oh yeah, it's on the back. So before I spoil here anything, but it's the first chapter, so basically, then again, it's not a spoiler. They try to, Mr. Haley tries to make it somehow of a mystery, but it's more of a mystery for the team, because even Drekki is so self-aware of the story that he knows that it's Eftor who's in prison. And yeah, our crew with our Ogre buddy who has his whole suit custom fitted to him. We have our lovebirds, we have our runesmith of the dispossessed clans who accompanies them, who becomes more and more of a Caradron, and every now and again he says something, everyone looks at him and like, yeah, or whatever you sky dwarfs say. It's really good. And there are a lot of characters in here that are just so lovable. Even though Caradron are cutthroats. They are. Okay, this now sounds bad. There is a reason why I say those are German sky dwarfs. Because we are in Germany, a contract is a contract. When we say something, we do it. Except the trains, because the Deutsche Bahn is terrible. Yeah, there is so much stuff in here. They, of course, find Barak-Minoz. Of course, there is a survivor there. And is also heartbroken that no one else survived, because on their way they're finding... they find one ship. It's obviously destroyed. Something happens to the ship. And yeah, we get to know more about Barak-Minoz and what happens, and that it's slowly but surely, it teleports through realm gates every now and again, because there is a device, no one knows how it works. And to add more pressure to the situation, this is also not a spoiler, don't worry. It's just a plot device, basically, that it will leave the realm sphere at one point. The realm sphere, because the etheric void is behind that. As of yet, only the Seraphon and Zinj can survive there. And maybe someone else, but I forgot who it was. But yeah, there is a lot of stuff to love in here. Again, there is the Lord of the Rings toss me scene, basically, when Aragorn has to throw Gimli over to somewhere. There is something like that in here. There is again and again, I am Drekki Flynt and I can do this. I am Drekki Flynt, haven't you heard of me? And it's so good. As I've said, this is a comedy novel. Read it as it is. Enjoy it. And as I've said, there might be stuff in here that will impact the greater story. Well, with that, I should be careful in what I say here. With the greater story, I mean for the Caradron overlords. There is potential here, which I hope will be used in the future, because it can do something to the Skyports. As of yet, as of recording, we haven't reached 4th edition, it was just announced. We have in the stories right now the dark mirrors to each god, and that the battle tomes and the factions are fractioning in each other. So my favorite example now is Krethusa and Morathi in the Daughters of Cain faction. Then we will get another death god for death in the near future. Hopefully this is still just a me thing that thinks that Arkan is coming back as another death god. And yeah, there are a lot of things in Age of Sigmar now that go into the duality of the factions. And I hope that we will get to see this in the Caradron sphere as well. But yeah, again, I give this book, I want to give this a 9 because it's really, really funny. It is really good. I'm a little bit careful again with my enthusiasm because I just finished it. And I think I will stay at a 9 out of 10 blunderbuss shots that work. But even if it's not a 9 out of 10 for you, it might be an 8 because there is comedy in here, there is no drama that is superfluous in here. The crew is lovable, the story is great, and I just have good things to say in here. If you have the audiobook version, there are 2 again voice actors in there, like in Kaifas Kane. There is more and more in here which just connects me to that, because the footnotes are read by one voice actor and the regular story is read by the other one. So in Kaifas Kane we have that with Kaifas and Amberly Whale, which, yeah, you see the similarities in here. I recommend this book. Even if you're not a Caradron fan, you want an Age of Sigmar story where you can laugh, you can just turn off the world, this is it. But yeah, what are your thoughts on all of this? Oh, and by the way, stop. With the current development of getting Warhammer Plus and Black Library models into the range, I know we already have a Drekki Flynt. I want an Ailsling, the Ironclad ship, and the crew also as models. When this is becoming a series, this would be great. Please. But yeah, what are your thoughts on all of this? Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I'm keen to know what you have to say. And while you're down there, please remember to do all the YouTube stuff, because hitting buttons is not only fun. Why? Because that way we can build a bigger community and talk more Warhammer almost every day. And by that I of course mean like and subscribe, and if you want you can support me on Ko-fi for a new camera. But until then, have a great day my friend, stay fantastic, stay hydrated, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.